Alright, welcome to another video. Let's do a check, sound check. Looks good, we're in the yellow, that's okay. Let's do a noise floor check. A little bit higher than usual, not too bad though. So yeah, I'm gonna do another retake strategy video. So far my retake strategy has been to build out Anki flashcards, and then it'll take me about a week to get through all of them. So the day I start working on the Anki flashcards, this is my sedentary timer. I can take some sedentary time if I would like. I'm feeling good for now. So once I have my Anki cards all created, and then I start them, it should only take about a week to get through all of them. So I'll schedule my exam then. I'm going to try to do 30 a day, which is kind of ambitious sometimes, but we'll see. So the next so all I need to do now is create cards for topic 104. Typically I've been able to do this in one video, so this should be the last video, and then I should be able to start the cards either tomorrow, Monday, probably tomorrow would be great. So the objective is to create partitions and file systems. This is a smaller weight 2. The key knowledge areas are to manage MBR and GPT partition tables, to use various MKFS commands to create various file systems such as ex2, ex3, ex4, xfs, vfat, xfat, and then the other key knowledge, the last key knowledge, oh that really hurt. Sorry, I have a propensity to, like, I stub my toe like at least I'd say once a week, and I'd say like every month I have like a huge toe stubbing event. And I had a toe stubbing event, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where like I'm still, like, I might have broken my toe. Like, I'm sure I've broken my toes a few times before in my life, because I stub them like all the time. Like at least once a month I have like a major toe stubbing event where like I have pain for days or weeks afterward. So I just kind of hit my toe a little bit on my treadmill. That would have been fine if I hadn't stubbed it so majorly. But that's a tangent. Speaking of pain and suffering, let's get back to learning about the LPIC. So the final key knowledge area is basic feature knowledge of BTRFS, including multi-device file systems, compression, and subvolumes. Alright, so here's a partial list of used files, terms, and utilities. This is what will turn into cards. So I'm going to start by making the dummy cards. And this one I did a pretty good job on. Got like a 50% on this one. So my best one I did was 103, the commands, because I've been using it in the real world for a long time, so I have a really good sense of the like bash commands, like some of the more specific utilities that you don't really do every day on the job, depending on what your function is. I struggled with, and then installation and package management I didn't do that well on at all. And then of course, you know, it could be that I just got harder questions for that. It could be that, you know, it's not necessarily a definitive, you know, this could be the hardest section, so I got the most questions wrong on the section with the hardest questions. So doesn't necessarily mean that on the job or whatever I'd be unable to do the things in here, or at least that I would have more trouble doing something in there than I would in other sections. I mean, maybe it does mean that because just the commands, but anyway, that's the point of this review, is to get everything 100%. So let's start with fdisk. This is just one lesson, thankfully. These are all just one lesson, thankfully. Okay. So the standard utility is fdisk. Oops, just need underscores for that. We're going to do fill in the blank style cards. They're also known as close deletion cards, but I can't remember how to do close deletion. I used to do those kind of cards, but okay, so this looks good for that. So I do kind of need to know some of the options as far as which is something I just need to take my word for, not a statement about anything else beyond just my opinion about that. Also parted. Alright, so let's go with this. Okay, and I might have to take some sedentary time. I really need it, but let's earn that sedentary time by finishing up this section, and then take a moment for that. Alright, so that's it. So let's queue it up to the next section, which will be 104.2, maintaining the integrity of file systems. We've got quite a few to get through here. That's a good place to switch it over to sedentary time. So 25 minutes of that. I'm entitled to that for my hard efforts to try to improve my health. I'm rewarded with 25 minutes of sedentary time, so I'm going to hit the clock on that. There we go, set up my sedentary area and work in it for about 24 minutes now. Alright, so I will say one thing regarding that too is, like, I don't know if I'm going about this the right way, because I'm kind of shocking my body to maybe a larger extent than is healthy. I don't know. Yesterday I really was feeling it. So I don't know if there's some sort of way to optimize recovery time that I'm not doing, but I feel like I'm about a week in, I think. Definitely not at the 2-week mark as far as I know. And yeah, I'm kind of struggling. But speaking of pain and suffering, let's get back to the main source of that again, and work on the LPIC. So next one is, let me read it out loud first. So 104.2 is about maintaining the integrity of file systems. It's a weight 2 of 4. And the key knowledge areas are to verify the integrity of file systems, to monitor free space and inodes, to repair simple file system problems. So a partial list of used files, terms, and utilities are what we're going to make cards out of. And again, this is not the perfect strategy. It's just one strategy. But all that matters is passing it. Ideally, I would pass it by getting every single one right so there's no gaps in my knowledge. But in the end, it's really just about using the skills and verifying that you have them in some authoritative way. So the verification just requires a passing score. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, so we got some more cards here. I think they show up at the bottom. Yep, so alright, let's look for DU. So this is where I think the knowing some of the options is going to help quite a bit. I don't know. Maybe this is enough. I guess. Oh, I remember all this. I definitely remember all this. I think I'm just going to cap it there. That's probably what happened to my energy yesterday, is the whatever healing process went into fixing the toe stubbing just required a lot of energy. Alright, so DF checks for free space. Alright, and then FSCK. Okay. You know what I think I might do is the ones that I might just give the options like a once over when I look up the right answer. I don't know. When I do these cards, I might add more to them. So this is MKE2FS. Okay, and this is one that doesn't show up in here. All right, and then tune 2. So, okay, they can be pruned. Or, sorry, not pruned. They can be tuned. Alright. There we go. Oops. Okay, so there we go. This is really good. All right, so that's it. Yeah, the point of this is to, as I keep saying, you know, I only failed by a few questions, no more than 5 likely. So if I just get a few more right, I'm gonna pass. So this process doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get me a few more questions right on the test. Okay, so the next one is 104.3, control mounting and unmounting of file systems. This is a higher one. This is weight 3, and the key knowledge areas are manually mount and unmount file systems, configure file system mounting on boot up, configure user mountable removable file systems, use the labels and UUIDs for identifying and mounting file systems, awareness of systemd mount units. So a partial list of the used files, terms, and utilities are here. So we're going to turn those into temporary cards. All right, and then I'm going to turn those into real cards. So this is 104.3. Whoops. Alright, so we'll take this whole thing. Alright, next is mount. I do want to take a quick break here. That'll just help me. So I'll be right back. It'll be very short. Alright, I'm back. So next is mount. I'm not sure if that's a command or what it is. I'm not sure if a mount and a mount point are on there. I think mount is a command. Yeah, it is. So let's yeah, this looks good to me. Kind of wish there was something better than this because just mount is being used a lot. Okay, so let's include this as well. Alright, this one's pretty straightforward. It's the same thing as mount, except for you unmount it. Um, you know what? Let's just think about, because as I said, some of the flags or options you send to it are important to know. So this will 1, 2, 3. So force the So like this is really good. If this were useful if you mounted a remote file system that has become unreachable, what would you do then? Would you mount it? No, you would unmount it. So that's like a great card because it just has me thinking about these commands in like a practical sense. Okay, so the next one is BLKID. Let's make sure I'm spelling it exactly right. Okay, so BLKID is missing. I think it's probably fair game to just ask about things in the man page. Okay, so go with that. Okay, the last one is LSBLK. Yeah, and let's include this whole section because, as I said, the practical relevance of the commands are what really matter. Yes, being able to answer multiple choice questions about it, you know, it will help with that too. So this is a good card. All right, moving on to the next one, which is, we can skip .4, and Jody actually had a video on that. I'm just curious if I can. Where's Jody? Really, there's this many Jodys in the world? Is this even him? Or is this another Jody that is also a programmer, admin, and no, he's okay. Yeah, this is him. I couldn't tell because he's wearing 2 sets of goggles and a winter hat. Okay, here we go. So here's the course for the LPIC 1. He goes through everything in this course. So this is the other thing about this course that is really good that I didn't mention before is, yes, it's 80 videos. That's a lot of videos, but it goes through, I think it goes through the LPIC 1 exam 101 and the LPIC 1 exam 102. So like,
hi, I'm Jody.
So you get the whole thing, which is nice. Yeah, so here's this video on 104.4.
Okay, I'm Jody. This part is removed from the LPIC, so I'm reading Revolution in the Valley. You can chill too. This is how the Mac was made. Really cool book. You can chill your way, and later we will continue with our LPIC.
Okay, so I guess he's reading some sort of supplemental material. Hopefully, I mean, I've taken the test before, so as I said, you know, it's not about getting everything right. That would be great if it were. But I just want this cert. All right, so yeah, he's just reading a book. So I'm not gonna watch him do that. I'm going to make the next set of cards, which is .5. I just thought he might have some kind of like insider information, or like, you know, some sort of thing where like, oh, they took it out of the training materials, but there might still be some content in the test. And it looks like, you know, that was the case. He showed this book, and reading that book might net you, you know, a question or two, right? I doubt it will. My experience of the test is that it was pretty fair. All right, so now this is 104.5, manage file permissions and ownership. This is a weight 3. Key knowledge areas: manage access permissions on regular and special files, as well as directories. Use access modes such as SUID, SGID, and the sticky bit. So that's represented with a T. That's in special permissions. Yeah, I remember that. To maintain security, know how to change the file creation mask. Use the group field to grant file access to group members. So here's a partial list of the used files, terms and utilities. First one is, and that's my, that's the timer I can't ignore. That's if I want to fix my health issues. Yeah, I've got health issues. I'm overweight, so I'm trying to fix that. Being less sedentary is trying to eat right, but I don't know. I just find that to be really hard. Because once you get like really hungry, I just find it really hard to ignore hunger. Maybe that's like where meditation is like powerful. Maybe I could try to meditate instead or something like that, but I find it very hard, which is why I struggle with weight and other people don't. All right, so 5 minutes on the treadmill, and I can't remember if I made a Chmod one already. I mean, it tells you if it's a duplicate, so I'll just make it again. Looks good. Let you mask. Joan. Alright, lots of good stuff here if you're like me and you used Linux quite a bit, but the moment you look at permissions is the moment you start panicking, feeling like an imposter. Well, this has got you because it'll explain everything, including the special permissions. And I'm sure it gets a lot more complicated, maybe in the LPIC 2. Alright, this is .5, that was .3. So Chmod is next. I hope those beepers aren't like super loud. They're loud for me, but maybe I'll try turning this down a bit. Oh, but the thing is, my volume is different from this volume, so I'll turn it back up. My volume is the system volume. That volume is just the volume being recorded. All right, so here we go. Yep, this looks good to me. Okay, next one is UMask. Oh, right. This is a big deal, and this is another one where I'm not gonna. I don't talk about what I see in the test because you know you can't talk about that in DA. But, you know, I do have certain strong opinions about certain things. And I will say, in my opinion, understanding how UMask sets the default permissions is important in general. So maybe just make sure you really understand that. All right. Oh. Yeah, UMask is actually uh uh yeah, so the default permissions are very confusing. So this is 0 to 7, which looks really, you know, straightforward in Octo mode. You would think that it was no write, then you would think, sedentary Simon 5 would like it. Then you would think that it was the 2-bit on. So you would think for the owner, you would have no permissions at all. You would think for the user, you would have write permissions, and you would think for the group, or sorry, for everyone else, you would have read, write, and execute. But it's in fact the opposite. That's because UMask sets values to subtract from the values 777 in the case of directories, and I think it's 666 in the case of files. I don't even know, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to take okay, so I'll take this whole thing and then I'll just swap it out. Maybe not the best card in the world, but not too bad. Okay. All right, so that looks good. Next one is Joan. All right, so we'll just take the whole thing. Why not? This is another one where you'll just have to take my word for it that understanding this, especially this syntax here, username, group name, is important just in general for no particular reason. Just my opinion, that's all I'm saying. Alright, that's good to me. Next one is change group. So this looks like that only shows up 3 times. This is one of the 3 times. Okay, and then the rest are in here. So let's do this. Okay. Then maybe include this as well. Alright, so that's 4.5. Let's look at 4.6. And I do want that sedentary time, so I'm going to take that. Alright, and I'll also take a break. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'm feeling a lot better, so I'm going to take some more active time. More the better, so after 5 minutes of this, I'll be able to take some more sedentary time if I need it. But for now, we're just going to get ahead and do some more of that. So for 104.6 is create and change hard and symbolic links. Wait 2. Key knowledge areas, create links. Identify hard and or soft links. Copying versus linking files. Use links to support system administration tasks. So a partial list of the used files, terms and utilities, LN and LS. That's kind of a funny one. I feel like I've gone over that one before. Oops. Let's start with LN. Okay, and then LS. Alright, and then browse. Okay, and then 104.6. Oops, do that in another tab so that we're queued up for the next one. Yeah, so symbolic link. There we go, that's with the -s. So, as I've said many times before, you do need to know some of the options. This is a clear one where it just does something else and there's not really another utility for it. Yeah, I don't have to get crazy with this one. This is the one that I read the most recently. So I feel like I did well on this. And this whole section I did well on. Yeah. Alright, that's probably all I need to know. I think this is a wait 2 as well. Yeah, it's a weight too, so don't have to get too crazy with it. Alright, so final one, hooray! Big celebration, reason to celebrate here. And it's to find system files and place files in the correct location. Weight 2. Oops, and I accidentally clicked wrong. Hey, I know which one I was at, it's the final one. So, key knowledge areas. Understand the correct locations of files under FHS. Find files and commands on a Linux system. Know the location and purpose of important file and directories as defined in FHS, which I wish they would have more about that here. But anyway, partial list of used files, terms and utilities. Fill that in. I could maybe make some extra cards for just the basics of FHS. All right, and let's go ahead and do that and make some extra cards for the basics of LHS. So open lesson 1. Yeah, and here's the official primary source. Click on the HTML version. Oh, and I can get some sedentary time if I want it. I'm feeling good now. But yeah, so we'll do all the dot 3, dot 5. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just do this. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty big for the test to know all of that. All right, next one is /boot. Alright, then /dev. So this would be like where /media would be under, as far as I know. I don't know. Okay. All right, /home. Oops, I need the whole thing, not just the bottom part. I think I'm not gonna include this. It's an optional one. I think the test isn't gonna ask about every little tiny thing, just the main most important things. So anything optional, then I'm not gonna include. I think I'll include this part as well. Okay, so that's /media, then /mount. OPT. Oh, this is this is another optional one. I won't include that. Yeah, like this one's a lot more important to have. Okay, so now we've got different hierarchies. We've got the var hierarchy, the user hierarchy, which I'm a little bit scared of because you know, take my word for it. Some of these are important to know. I think I'll just focus on this one. Okay, so now that we've got those cards out of the way, let's close it out and just make. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more here, but as I said, it's not about being perfect. It's about passing. Unfortunately, so okay. So next is the find. Here we go. Alright, and then locate. Oh, right. And remember, yeah. Right. Okay, so we'll take this whole thing. Okay, so this is good. Oh, can also be used. So what's one? Is there more than one command? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so that looks good. Next one is which. Okay. All right, and then type. All right, so oops, still got one more. One more to go. All right, so that's it. I want to take a look at Etsy as well, because I just want to take a brief look here at my card for Etsy, because it should help me figure out cards like that. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so here's Etsy. So yeah, contains configuration files. Perfect. All right, so yeah, major progress when it comes to preparing for my review. So guarantee, absolute guarantee, if I get through all these cards, I will pass the test. This is, as I mentioned, the most powerful study technique there is. You just do them every day, including the review. And then you do the math for how long it will take to complete. And then you do it right after you're finished. Guaranteed pass. This is what doctors, lawyers use to get through their really difficult studies. If you're not using this, at some point you're just going to fall behind. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.